Boom! There we go. What's up, ass clowns? Jer-dog here. jer-dogcomedy.com, thebarcomic.com, The Bar Comic on Facebook, The Bar Comic on YouTube. Just put in The Bar Comic, that pretty much gets me everywhere. Put in Jer-dog, you'll find something. I'm always uploading content, either here on YouTube, where you're probably watching this right now, or my website, or I do a lot of Facebook Live. It's a beautiful day out. I wish I did not have to be stuck in my car driving to my next gig, which I'll be doing the He Said, She Said comedy show with Katrina Brown. That is just one of the 3 or 4 shows that I produce at nightclubs, taverns, and neighborhood bars. They all appeal to different types of audiences. The He Said, She Said comedy show is the hard-hitting date night relationship show. The Dirty Jokes and Magic Tricks show, well, that pretty much, the name pretty much says it all. I've also got a comedy game show and the Grassroots Comedy Tour, which features several kick-ass headliners from around the country. And these are all the shows that I've been producing since 2003, nightclubs, taverns, neighborhood bars. And I've had a lot of adventures from that, so I'm just so grateful for all that and all those experiences that I've had. You know, I took that chance when I was 25 or 26 years old and just started hitting up places the Blues Brothers style. I was inspired by that movie, The Blues Brothers, where they don't have a gig and they just get the band back together and then they roll into Bob's Country Bunker and they're not even booked. It's, you know, some other band is booked, the good old boys, and so, but they roll in and say that that's who they are. We're the good old boys. We're the band. And they're like, all right, let's get you boys started up on stage. So I used to roll in. You know, there was a couple times I rolled in with just a microphone and a guitar amp into some random bar. And, you know, 25 years old with nothing to fucking lose. And I would just roll in and say, yeah, I was booked to perform here. I'm doing a show. And sometimes they'd kick you the fuck out. They were like, no, get out of here. But sometimes they say, oh, okay, just get right up there and perform. It was crazy. I mean, I had nothing to lose. It didn't matter no matter what they said. So sometimes I'd get some stage time doing that weird, crazy shit like that. No fear. I had no fear back then. I guess I did. It's always, people are like, man, that must have been so scary when you were in the Demolition Derby, or, you know, another gig, another thing that I got from doing these bar shows is these sort of extra experiences that are branch offs from the gigs, where you meet somebody and they have something going on that they want you to be a part of. So, you know, the Demolition Derby that I did for Redneck Fest, they saw me do stand-up. They're like, oh, you got to come out and be in Redneck Fest, and we're going to have a backyard Demolition Derby. And I'm like, I want to be in that. And they're like, you got it. And they gave me a special 420 car and everything. That was a lot of fun. I went skydiving, done a lot of that crazy shit. You can't have any fear. You can't be afraid to go out there and do your shit, whatever it is. Like, you might not make any money at it. You can't think of the perfect plan, like, how is this going to exactly translate into a long-term career? Some of that planning is very useful and good, and you need to have that. But when you're just getting started, the idea is just fucking get started. Don't contemplate the what ifs. Just get out there and do it, and you'll discover the what ifs. If you try to come up with the perfect scenario and the perfect plan and have this ultimate long-term vision, you're just going to be trick-fucking yourself anyway, because there's no way you can possibly think of all the mishaps that may or may not occur. A lot of times, you know, it's like, what's that cheesy line? Fear, it's a cheesy quote. Fear is false evil appearing real, or something like that. Well, that kind of is true. A lot of people are scared about shit that they're just imagining in their heads. It's not even reality. A lot of times when you're confronted with a situation that you actually have to deal with, like a quote-unquote scary situation, when that actually is a reality, you just deal with it. You're not afraid then. You know, you deal with whatever the challenge is. You might get sweaty or nervous, or, you know, you might have some anxious feelings, but those are useful feelings in order to deal with the adversity that's in front of you. But if you're just, you know, if you have this trepidation about starting your venture or going out there and doing something wild and crazy that may seem wild and crazy, but really is probably what needs to be done in order for you to accomplish your goals. It was anybody that I would have said, hey, do you think it's a good idea if I just roll into some random bar with a guitar amp and a microphone and start doing my comedy show? Do you think it's a good idea if I go to karaoke bars and instead of doing a karaoke song, do 5 to 10 minutes of stand-up comedy? People are like, that's not how it's done. You're completely out of your fucking mind. I just didn't give a fuck. Had no fear whatsoever about doing that. I'd get nervous in the moment, absolutely. But that was that nervousness that pushed me to do better. That, you know, like kind of putting that pressure on me is like what helped me rise to the occasion. And I think that's important. I think that there's a lot of people that it takes having their back up against the wall before they can actually bring out their best. They get too much validation. They get too much positive reinforcement from people. Too many people saying, oh yeah, that is a great idea. You should do that. You know what? Kind of, in my experience, if a lot of people tell you that it's a great idea and you should go for it, that might actually be the wrong idea. The thing to pursue sometimes might be the thing that most people says can't be done. Most people freak out when they hear the, oh, whoa, what? You're crazy. I wouldn't try that if I were you. Well, yeah, because you don't fucking try anything. Sometimes getting all that validation is actually, it's not helpful at all. It's actually hurts you as a performer. Really, it's just about anything you want to do in life. If you want to accomplish a goal, having too many people saying, yeah, go for it. You can do it. You can do it. Just keep trying. You're good. You're good. You just keep believing you're good. You're good. Just got to keep trying over and over and over again. It may be, you know, getting up there, trying something wacky, and then getting the fucking snot knocked out of you, learning through the school of hard knocks. That is actually the better education. That's actually what shows you your weak spots and what you need to work on, so that way you can improve and become kick-ass at whatever it is you do. No fear, baby. It's too stifling. That's the one thing you cannot have as a stand-up comedian, is to be stifled. You have to be able to speak openly and honestly from the heart. You can't be afraid to have your picture taken. You can't be afraid to be on videos. You can't be afraid to just put your shit out there and let the cards fall where they may. Maybe people will think I'm a douchebag when they watch this video and they hear me talking like this. I don't give a fuck. This is for me mostly anyway, and getting my shit out there. And if it resonates with you, that's even better. I hope it does. I hope it can help you out. But I watch it later on and I get motivated by it. You know, maybe that's because I'm an egotist. I watch this shit, I'm like, God damn, this fucking guy's got some wisdom he's throwing out there. And that's just me, because I'm an asshole. Maybe I'm narcissistic, I'm just a douchebag. You know, you do realize that right now. You're just watching an asshole on his way to talk shit in a bar and entertain alcoholics. Anyway, this is jer-dog from thebarcomic.com. Hit me up there, hit me up with a subscribe if you like this shit. I try to put out 2 or 3 videos a week, just talking my bullshit. It's my favorite thing to do, you know? Just put it out there. You can't be scared. Don't be afraid. Acknowledge the fear. Acknowledge the fear. It's going to be there. You know, I'm not some crazy sociopathic monster that never considers the consequences of things. But I acknowledge, like, is this a legitimate consequence or not? I'm reading this book right now by Robert Greene and 50 Cent called The 50th Law. And that basically talks about the 50th law is don't be afraid to be yourself. That's basically what it is. You cannot give in to fear. It's too stifling. It's a barrier to success. You're gonna analyze things to death. Paralysis by analysis. You won't wind up doing jack shit. You'll set yourself behind by years. Just fucking go for it right now. Experiment. Be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to fall on your face. Be willing to make an ass out of yourself. I do it every fucking night. I'm probably doing it right now with this video. I don't give a shit. Don't be stifled. As a comedian, that's how you find your voice. How do I find my voice? I just want to find my voice. Here's how you find your voice. Don't fucking stifle yourself. Don't be afraid to bomb. Don't be afraid of the not laughs. Get up there, do your thing, try to bring as tight a game as possible, especially if you're being paid to do a show. You want to deliver a quality product, absolutely, but you have to be willing to experiment. You can't be afraid to speak your mind. You can't be afraid to share openly and honestly from the heart. That's what actually makes the best comedy anyway. Real life shit, and that's what audiences tend to appreciate the most. No fear, baby. It's not just a slogan. You actually have to live that shit, and most people don't. If you can live your life really by stripping away as much fear as possible, that right there puts you in the top 3%, because most people are too afraid to fucking live life on their own terms anyway. Being able to live life on your own terms, that's what real freedom is, and you can only get that by having no fear. I don't know what got me off on that rant, but I'm glad I did. This is fun. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hit the subscribe button, check me out online, jer-dogcomedy.com, thebarcomic.com, Facebook, The Bar Comic, Instagram, The Bar Comic. That's it. See you later.